Call hello Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the sincere brothers and sisters who are in this thing, whether you be listening, learning, teaching, all the way up into, those who are out on the street corners prophesying. I pray the mercy from now to the day of judgment. I'm actually just going to bring this one out raw, man. This is just some words of encouragement. It's a lot of doom and gloom being prophesied because that's what's happening and that's what's going to happen, continue to happen, and it's going to swell up until that bubble bursts. However, I just wanted to bring out a couple of things that are also encouraging, or to those of us who are sincere about dealing with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and not praying to this devil to give you a win here on this side. So there's just a couple of points in Maccabees. It was like 9 through 14 that I read. I'm gonna just kind of scroll through and pick them out, and then you can read them on your own. I kind of lost exactly where they were, so I'm just gonna put this up raw because I was really dwelling and meditating on this since last night. I just didn't know how to do it, so I decided to let the Spirit take over, Lord willing. Alright, about that time came Antiochus with dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered into the city called Persepolis, and went about to rob the temple, to hold the city, whereupon the multitude ran to defend themselves with their weapons, put them to flight, and so it happened, Antiochus being put to flight of the inhabitants returned to shame, right? Okay, so, and this is around when Nicanor and Timotheus, who was a traitor working with them, they got beat back, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Okay, so again, the pride of this devil, this is verse 4, he was swelling with anger, thought to avenge upon the Israelites the disgrace done unto him by those that made him flee. So he went on the attack, got beat back, and got mad. But you initiated the problem. You initiated this smoke. So but that's this devil. He'll do it. He did it then, he gonna do it again. He gonna come this time. The Lord's lifting up a standard though. He gonna come for us, initiate, and the Lord's gonna lift up that standard, and in his pride he gonna be mad that he couldn't have his way with our people as he's done in times past. Okay, so let's scroll down. But the Lord Almighty, Yahweh, the God of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague, for as soon as he had spoke these words, a pain in the bowels that was remediless came upon him, and sore torments of his inner parts. So he got humbled. He thought to profane the temple. He thought to deal falsely and deal wickedly with the people. However, if you look, let's go back real quick. They can't touch us let's go to verse 36, 8 and 36. I just want to get the point is at the end, but I'll read the entire verse. Thus he that took upon him to make good to the Romans their tribute by means of the captives in Jerusalem told abroad that the Jews hadn't God to fight for them, so he had Yahweh to fight for them, and therefore they could not be hurt because they followed the laws that he gave them. So again, moving into these times, this is prior to Hamashiach. We're still required to keep the laws. However, they cannot save you. But you see, and the scriptures say God is God. He, I am Yahweh, I change not. So he still requires these laws to be kept. This is your act of faith. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back. But the Lord smote him. Okay, verse 6. Oh, and that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments. The sickness and disgusting imagination of this devil. So the Lord only knows what he did. Okay. Okay, howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging. This is verse 7. But still was filled with pride, breathing out fire in his rage against the Israelites, commanding to haste the journey. But it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot, carried violently. So having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pain. So these are the things that Yahweh Shai can do to your enemies. And these are the things that are going to be coming for the sake of the hopeful elect. I pray that, I'm of that number. All right. So verse 8, and thus he that a little aforethought he might command the waves of the sea. So proud was he beyond the condition of man. And that is this devil to the T. That was you then, this is you now. Okay, and weighed the high mountains in balance, and was now cast onto the ground, and carried in a horse litter, showing forth unto all the manifest power of Yahweh. So you were on a high horse, on your chariot, and you were cast down to the ground. Didn't Yahweh Shai say, behold, I saw Satan cast down as lightning? It happened then, it's going to happen again. All right, verse 9, so that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man, and while he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. So he, look at the judgment brought on him. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And his smell was noisome to all his army. Oh man, he was rotting, he was dying while living. That's crazy. Verse 10, and the man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry for his intolerable stink. Here therefore being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride, and to come to the knowledge of himself. He got humbled. You're just a man, and a base man at that, according to the scripture. By the scourge of Yahweh, his pain increasing every moment. And when he himself could not abide his own smell, he said these words, it is meet to be subject unto Yahweh, that a man that is mortal should not proudly think of himself as if he were God. Look at what is coming for you proud devils. This wicked person vowed also unto the Lord, who now no more would have mercy upon him, saying thus, that the holy city to the which he was going in haste to lay even with the ground, and to make in a common burying place, he would set at liberty. I don't want no smoke no more. I get it. You have a true God fighting for you. Let me just sit back and calm down, but it's already too late. Okay? So I'm going to skip down. Let's see. He himself didn't have to declare. That's verse 17. But for all this, so he was doing it because he thought that if he reversed his stance, that the Lord would reverse his judgment. No, too late. That's verse 18. Okay. So, but for all his pains, he would not cease, for the just judgment of Yahweh was come upon him. Therefore, despairing of his health, he wrote unto the Jews a letter underwritten, containing the form of supplication after this manner. Alright, so he pretty much just like, hey man, hope you guys doing okay. You can read that on your own. So he wanted to try and restore them and let them to do their own thing, let them follow their own laws, okay? Thus the murderer and blasphemer, having suffered most grievously and treated other men, so died he a miserable death. That's verse 28. A strange country in the mountains, okay? And Philip that was brought up and carried away his body, who also fearing the son of Antiochus went into Egypt to Ptolemais Philometor. Okay, so yeah, you can read this on your own. He kind of the letter he wrote, and he wanted to send it. Let's see. Yeah. You can read this. So let me skip over. All right. So now we're moving to Judas Maccabees, 2 Maccabees, verse 10. All right. So they're cleansing the temple. That's verse 3. Now upon the same day, strangers profaned the temple. On the very same day, it was cleansed again, even the 5 and 20th day. All right. Okay. Where do I want to hit? I can't find. I'm going to find it, though. Hold on. Oh, man. Where are we at? So, yeah, you can read this. So you see verse 12 told me, rather to do justice unto the Jews for the wrong that had been done unto them, endeavor to continue peace. Okay. 13, whereupon being accused of the king's friend before you prayed and called traitor. Nah. Slakia, bear with me. You know, if you can just click off the video if you know. Okay. Alright, but when Georgius was governor of the hold, he hired soldiers and nourished war continually with the Jews. So Georgius, I think, is the governor of Idumea, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I want to make sure I get that right. But basically the point is, here go these Edomites again. You know what I'm saying? Yep, and there with all the Idumeans having gotten into their hands the most commodious holds, kept the Jews occupied and receiving those that were banished from Jerusalem. They went about to nourish war. So here we go again, because their blessing was the sword, right? According to the book of Genesis. And by thy sword shalt thou live, right? Okay. And because certain who were less than 9,000 and assault, hold on, 17. Let's go to 16. Then they that were with which Maccabees made supplication and besought. Oh, let's go to 15. Hold on. And therewithal the Idumeans, having gotten into their hands the most commodious holds, kept the Jews occupied, receiving those that were banished from Jerusalem. Okay, and they went out about to nourish war. Then they that were with Maccabees made supplication and besought Yahweh that he would be their helper. So they ran with violence upon the strongholds of the Idumeans. And assaulting them strongly, they won the hold and kept off all that fought upon the walls, and slew all that fell into the hands, and killed no fewer than 20,000 men. So they were short. They had a third of what these people had. But they trusted in Yahweh. Not in this current system. Not in this devil. These are the things that you can, that we need to be reading for encouragement. Because if he did it before, he'll do it again. All right, so verse 19, he left Simon and Joseph and Zacchaeus also, and them that were with him, who were now to besiege them, and departed him unto those places which more needs help. All right. Now they that were with, okay, these were the betrayers. They slew the traitors, okay. He took his hand, he slew 2 holds more, all right. All right, so here's 24 Timotheus the traitor. Man, I can't find it. Let's see. It fell down at the foot of the altar in Besant. Now Timotheus, all right, let's see. Jews overcome before he had gathered a great multitude of foreign forces. Okay, so yeah, so now Timotheus came back with a bunch of forces and horses out of Asia, not a few, and came as though he would take Jewry by force of arms. So this is their brother in the flesh, not really in the spirit, because he's a traitor. All right, but when he drew near, they that were met with Maccabees turned themselves to pray unto Yahweh. You see what you're supposed to do, what we're supposed to do? Every time the enemy came upon our people, they turned and they prayed. Granted, they are keeping the law or doing the best to please Yahweh, is what I should say properly. Okay? So they girded their loins, they put ash, sprinkled earth upon their head. So this is the ancient custom of mourning and humbling themselves. All right, girding their loins with sackcloth, fell down at the foot of the altar and besought him to be merciful to them and be an enemy to their enemy and an adversary to their adversary, as the law declares. Meditate on that right there, verse 26. So after the prayer, they took their weapons and went on further from the city. And when they drew near their enemies, they kept by themselves. Okay? Now you can see why this was taken out, and you can now they're saying that this is not quote unquote canonical or whatever. But who are you? This book isn't for you. That irony, the gall of this damn devil to say what is and what isn't or shouldn't be a part of these scriptures. Okay. Oh, here we are. This is what I wanted. Verse 28. We'll start at 28. All right, but the point is in 30. Now the sun being newly risen, they joined both together, the one part having together with their virtue and their refuge also unto the Lord for a pledge of their success and victory. The other side making their rage leader of their battle. The other side making their rage leader of their battle. So they're in their own pride. They're in their own feelings. They are in their own emotions. But our side, we're trusting in the Lord because we know that nothing that we do is a veil. It is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai that gives us strength and power, or delivers our enemies into our hands. All right, so verse 29. But when the battle waxed strong, they appeared unto the enemies from heaven 5 comely men upon horses, with bridles of gold, and 2 of them led the Israelites, and took Maccabees betwixt them, and covered him on every side with their weapon, and kept him safe, but shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies, so that being confounded with blindness and full of trouble, they were killed. This is the help and even greater things that are coming in these days. So just as sure as the curses and the judgments came upon our people, is as sure as the beautiful things like this that are going to happen to the remnant, whom I pray I'm of the who I can't even talk. I'm excited. Who I pray I am of a part, or I am a part of. All right. So as for 32, as for Timotheus himself, he fled into a very stronghold called Gaza. Okay, where Shireus was governor. But they that were with Maccabees laid siege against the fortress courageously 4 days. Look at you see, and this brings. When I was reading this last night, it brought to mind like how all of a sudden our people. Now the covenant is open to everybody, right? So all of these battles upon history persecuting us, but now the Lord is saying, let bygones be bygones. We as Israelites went through the curses, but now the enemy, those who put a sore grievous wound upon us throughout time and time in history, now it's let bygones be bygones. Everybody's a part of the covenant. All you have to do is call on Jesus. How does that make sense? That is a false balance according to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay. 34, and they that were with the trusting and strength of the place blaspheming. Okay, so they were with the stronghold, so they started blaspheming the name of the Lord, and basically talking shit because they thought they couldn't be touched. Nevertheless, upon the 5th day early, 20 young men of Maccabees' company, inflamed with anger because of the blasphemies, assaulted the wall manly, and with the fierce courage killed all that met withal. Others likewise, ascending after them, whilst they were busied with them that were within, burnt the towers, kindled fires, burnt the blasphemers alive. You see that? And others broke open the gates, having received the rest of the army, took the city, and killed Timotheus that was hid in a certain pit, and Shireus his brother with Apollophanes. When this was done, they praised the Lord with psalms and thanksgiving, after they just burned people alive. So there's a little cut in Christianity, that all-inclusive love everybody kind of thing they got going on. But that's another lesson for another day. But you see, when all this was done, when the slaying of the enemies was done, they praised the Lord with psalms and thanksgiving, who had done so great things for Israel and given them glory. So I'll probably come back and do a part 2, but definitely read all of it, but 1st and 2nd Maccabees, especially 2nd Maccabees 8 through the continuing on. I think it's 15 or 16 chapters, but I'll come back, Lord willing, and do a second on 11 through 14. So hopefully you brothers and sisters were edified. Read, learn your Lord, learn Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. See the things that he's done for our people in the times past who were righteous. Strive to be righteous. Pray to the name Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Believe on that. Fear the Lord and repent. We need to turn from our wicked ways. Time is ticking. So with that being said, Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal.